Hello Imbibers, a very good evening to all of you. We are here to actually have the practice session of the double fertilization, which is the last topic we discussed in the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So let's solve questions related to it. So children, the practice session is for you so that you know that whether you have understood the concept in a better way or not. So we're going to solve the questions related to the double fertilization only. Before we start, let me introduce you to myself. I am Anam Khan. I'll be your botany expert for the session 2023 and 2024, and we're going to discuss all the amazing and interesting topics related to the botany. Like we have been already discussing the sexual reproduction in flowering plants, and we are almost on the verge of completion of this particular chapter. So practice session is only that you can actually know that whether you have gone through that concept thoroughly or not, because double fertilization is the most important concept of this particular chapter and is a unique topic, concept, or whatever features, characteristic you can say of the angiosperm, which basically make it stand out from the other families. Yes, yes children, so moving on, solving the questions related to double fertilization. Let's see what we have in our. So today the topic would be totally related to the double fertilization. The questions will be only related to the double fertilization. Yes, the very first question is right now here. Double fertilization, what do you mean by double fertilization? Why I am calling this as a double fertilization? What characteristics define that this is a double fertilization? Yes, what it would be? Yes, the correct answer, the double fertilization means that the fusion of the one male gamete with the egg cell and the other male gamete with the polar nuclei or the central cell. Yes, the zygote will have a ploidy or diploid, where the central cell which have a polar nuclei will have a ploidy of 3-1. Yes, this is what double fertilization is, which is absolutely very simple. Next question children. The pollen tube carrying two male gametes during the process of fertilization, what it is called? Yes, the pollen tube carrying the male gamete during the process of fertilization. Yes, the pollen tube carrying the two male gametes during the process of fertilization is called the siphonogamy. Yes, the siphonogamy is when the pollen tube carries two male gametes for the fertilization events. That is what you call siphonogamy. Yes, the transfer of male gametes from the pollen tube to the egg cell. Yes, the phenomenon of double fertilization was first noticed by whom? Which scientists discovered this phenomenon, that this is going to happen, this egg cell and the fusion of central cell is taking place inside the plant. It was discovered by whom? Very simple, we have already discussed about this. It was noticed by Wastin. He was one who discovered this particular phenomenon. Next, the double fertilization occur between due to what is the reason that this double fertilization is happening? What is the reason that this double fertilization is happening? Yes? Yes, the correct answer would be the union between male gametes and egg cell and also with the secondary nucleus. This is the double fertilization is occurring because there is a union between the male gamete, egg cell and the secondary nucleus. Next question, children. The transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of another flower of the same plant is called what? This is a question from the pollination. Yes, but you should know the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma is called what? Of the same plant. Yes, what it is called? What it is called? Yes, the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of another flower of some plant is called geitonogamy. It is called the geitonogamy when the pollen grains are being transferred from the stigma to the anther, from the anther to the stigma of the same plant. That is what you call geitonogamy, also known as xenogamy. Next, children, question is the entry of male gametes through the chalazial end. Yes, the entry of male gametes through the chalazial end. What kind of, when the male gamete enters through the chalazial end, what you call it? What kind of a gamete it is? Yes? The entry of male gametes through the chalazial end is known as, very simple, it is known as chalazogamy. Absolutely very simple. Next question, children. The fusion of male and the female gamete is called, very simple question. The fusion of male and the female gamete is called what? The fusion of male and the female gamete is called what? Mesogamy, chalazogamy, porogamy, syngamy. It is called the simple syngamy. Syngamy is just the fusion of male gametes. Very simple. Next question. The process of union between a male gamete with a diploid definitive nucleus is called what? Read carefully. The answer is very simple. The male gamete is fusing with the diploid nucleus. What you call? What kind of a fusion it is? What kind of a fusion it is? triple fusion. That is what you call triple fusion, when the male gamete, another male gamete fuses with the central cell or the polar nuclei, or you can also call it diploid definitive nucleus. It is absolutely very simple. Next question, children, related to this is, in a recent fertilized ovule, the haploid, diploid, triploid conditions are respectively. What could be the haploid, diploid, triploid conditions? Haploidy, diploidy, triploidy. Yes. Yes, the condition would be the simple, the antipodals, oospores, primary endospore, nucleus, haploid, diploid and triploid conditions. Next question, the pollen tube is guided to the micropylar end of the ovule by who guides the entry of pollen tube through the ovule? Yes, that it is going to go and fuse. Who is guiding the entry of pollen tube? Who is guiding the entry of the pollen tube? Yes, the correct answer would be the filiform apparatus, which is guiding the entry of the ovule, entry of the pollen tube through the micropylar region. Next question, pollen tube after reaching the ovule generally enters the ovule through which the pollen tube enters. Majorly, generally the ovule, the entry of the pollen tube is through the nucleus, integument, flaccid and micropyle. Who is basically responsible for the entry of the pollen tube? Yes. Correct answer would be the micropylar is basically helping the pollen tube reaching to the ovule. Next question. The endosperm, a product of double fertilization in angiosperm, is absent in the seeds of, where is endosperm is completely utilized and it's completely absent in the seeds of? Yes. The pollen tube, endosperm, a product of double fertilization in angiosperm, is absent in the seeds of? Okay, the correct answer for this question is this, that orchid seeds basically do not have endosperm. The endosperm has been completely absorbed. Next question, which of the following is not involved in the fertilization of fern? Yes, which of the following is not involved in the fertilization? What formation does not take place in the fern? Pollen tube, water, archegonia, flagellated sperms. Very simple, it has to be very simple, that which is the following is not a feature of the ferns. Yes, it has to be the pollen tube. There is no pollen tube formation in the ferns. Yes, the water is required for the fertilization. There is an archegonia, which is a female gametophyte, and the flagellated sperm for the movement. Next question, children, the triploid condition is only present in, what is a triploid condition is only present in? Bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperms, angiosperms. What kind of a condition is already present in the triploid condition? Triploid condition is present in the angiosperm. This is the unique feature in the angiosperm, that they are having a triploid condition. Next question, vegetative fertilization leading to the formation of endosperm refers to how the endosperm is basically made in the vegetative fertilization. Yes, how the endosperm is being made in the vegetative fertilization. Yes, fusion of male gametes with the diploid secondary nucleus, fusion of female gametes will diploid secondary nucleus, fusion of yes, the correct answer would be the fusion of male gamete with the diploid secondary nucleus. Yes, the fusion of male gamete with the secondary diploid nucleus. Absolutely simple. Next, children, the plasmogamy. What do you mean by plasmogamy? How would you define the plasmogamy? The fusion of gametes, the fusion of protoplasm, fusion of similar spores, fusion of dissimilar spores. How you define plasmogamy? Yes, quickly. How do you define plasmogamy? So, the plasmogamy is being defined by the fusion of protoplasm. Yes, the fusion of protoplasm is known as plasmogamy. Next question, siphonogamy in angiosperm means, what do you basically mean by siphonogamy? Two tube-like male gametes, male motile gametes, male gametes produced in a tube, male gametes produced and carried in a tube. What do you define as a male gamete? Yes. Yes, the correct answer that leading to siphonogamy is that the male gametes are carried in a tube. Yes, the siphonogamy means that the male gametes are carried in a tube for the fertilization towards the female gamete. Next question, which of the following is not true about the double fertilization? Which among them is not true about the fertilization? Children, the Embibe app gives you an ability to answer directly through your laptop, tablets, mobile, everything. So please, which is not available on the YouTube, so please try to join us on the app, where basically you can register yourself for the classes, Embibe live classes, and you can attempt questions directly. Yes, you can attempt questions directly, writing them in the, rather than writing them in the chat. Please go and download the Embibe app from the Google Play Store or the App Store and enjoy everything all at one place, from the theory to the questions, from the practicals and everything there itself. Yes, the incorrect answer is the endosperm nucleus is diploid. Yes, it is not. It's absolutely wrong. It is completely triploid. Next question, children. The sperms and the egg nuclei fuses due to the, why do the eggs and nuclei fuses with each other? What is the reason? The reason is that they are attracted towards each protoplasm is basically attracted towards each other. Next question. When pollen tube enters into micropylar end, then the process is known as, when the pollen tube is entering into micropylar end, what does this process known as? Mesogamy, porogamy, chalazogamy, pseudogamy. Yes, simply entering through the micropylar region. When the pollen tube is entering through the micropylar region, then this process is called, very simple, it is known as porogamy. You entering through the micropylar region, it is called as porogamy. Next question, children. Milky water of green coconut is liquid female gametophyte, liquid nucellar, multinucleate liquid and liquid endosperm. Yes, what it is? Yes, the correct answer would be the liquid endosperm. Milky green coconut is the liquid endosperm. Next question. What is the total number of nuclei involved in double fertilization? Total number of nuclei. Please count it. It's very simple. Total number of nuclei involved in the double fertilization. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. It is involved in the double fertilization. 2, 3, 4, 5. Answer would be the 5. 5 number of nuclei are basically involved in the double fertilization. Next, entry of pollen tube with the male gamete and tube nucleus through the integuments, not through chalazal end, not through micropylar end, but through the integuments, the layer of the ovary. Yes, it is called as mesogamy. When the entry of the pollen grain is through the integuments is known as mesogamy. Next, which of the following develops as a result of triple fusion? What is a development or basically result of the triple fusion? Embryo sac, embryo, endosperm or the seed? It is the endosperm, which is the result of the triple fusion. Next, for good growth of pollen tube, necessary element which is necessary for the pollen tube formation is what? It is the boron. So, boron is basically responsible, it is a micronutrient, it requires for the calcium metabolism, pollen germination and cell differentiation also. So, boron is absolutely important for the pollen tube germination. So, children, this is all about today's session. We have discussed a lot about the double fertilization. We have lots of questions related to double fertilization. This is the Embibe app. You can log in through your phone number, email ID and through an OTP will generate, and you will enter the OTP and you will land on the Embibe platform. There is a home page. Click on the home page button. Go to the Embibe live classes. Register for the upcoming classes, children. And children, we can basically have all the things at one place. Yes. And next, children, the amazing app which is the Embibe Lens app. You can go and scan the text. It will highlight all the keyword and will display everything in 3D. Please go and join us on the Embibe app. Explore the Embibe Lens app. We will meet again at the same timing discussing more about the post-fertilization events tomorrow, how the seed development is taking place, what is the endosperm. Everything will be discussed in tomorrow's session. Until then, please take care. Keep imbibing. Bye-bye.
Keep imbibing. We believe in you.